Well, hi again. This is Ken Connell with Destinies Life Skills and Coaching Mentors, here with another session of Secrets from a Life Coach. In this session, we're going to talk about the importance of you choosing your battles. All right, well, welcome back. This is Ken again. I sincerely hope that you are a life coach client of ours, and you've come to this page just because I suggested you come check this out, because there's an important message here for you. As a client, I want you to get everything out of this life coach session, and so I'm going to lay down a real important concept for you here about choosing your battles. And in order to do this, I want you to think about taking inventory. Hopefully by now we've already done some take inventory sessions with you, and so you'll understand a little bit about that. But if not, it's important that you stop whatever you're doing and think about the things that you're setting your hand to. Stop what you're doing and think about all the different projects that you're involved in. Are they all your projects? Or are you finding yourself getting caught up in the tyranny of the urgent? Because it's a known fact that when a lot of people want to accomplish something, they don't. And the reason that they don't is quite often they've made decisions about what's important in their life, and that's something that they truly want, but they give up what they want in life for what they want right now in life. Let me say that again. Are you giving up what you want for what you want right now? And sometimes that what we want right now is because we have been tasked by another person or a situation, and we find ourselves out there doing these urgent projects. We're doing the tyranny of the urgent instead of what's really important to us. And so I want to encourage you to stop what you're doing, take some inventory, look at all the things that you find your hand set to. Are these your projects, or did you inherit them, or did somebody offer them to you? What's going on? Are you working at your dream, or are you working at somebody else's dream? Are there things that you're setting your hand to? If you had it all to do again, would you be doing this same thing? And while in many cases you could choose a lot of the things and say, yeah, I'd still be doing that, there's a whole bunch of things. If you're sincerely honest and you've taken a personal inventory, you're going to find a whole bunch of things that you've set your hand to that they're not necessarily projects of passion for you. It's just something that you found yourself in the middle of. Well, I want you to know and look at the fact that you being in the middle of those things, they may be good tasks and good activities, but it's important to understand one of the greatest opponents of great is good. And so are you working on great projects, on great activities, on great life's purposes for you? Or are you just working on good projects? And of course, being a life coach, I'm not going to tell you what they are and what you should and should not be doing, because I want you to come to that self-discovery of finding what's really important to you. What do you set in your hand to? How did you find yourself in this situation? And so I'm going to share this concept about, it's an awesome story. You've probably heard it before because it's been around for years, and it's a great trigger story. And so I'm going to share an idea with you about a concept called, believe it or not, it's called the zookeeper. And the zookeeper is a great story about somebody and becoming very, very influential, about somebody doing what he was supposed to be doing and becoming exceptionally good at this. So as he's really good at this, he becomes world renowned. And so the zookeeper story is about a zookeeper who is extremely successful about what he wanted to do. And so what he wanted to do was take care of monkeys. And this zookeeper became world famous. And a lot of people found out about the zookeeper, how healthy his zoo was, how healthy his monkeys were. And he had a reputation throughout the world of, wow, this guy's got the best monkeys in the world. And so a lot of people wanted to find out, how do you do this? How does the zookeeper get so good at what he's doing? And how does he get the great results with the monkeys? And so he was contacted by a number of people asking to tour. Can we tour your zoo? Can we find out what it is that you're doing? Why? How are you so successful at all these great monkeys? because it was a known fact that all the monkeys at his zoo were healthy, happy, go lucky, swinging through their little jungles, doing everything a happy monkeys do. They were not screaming for food. They were always taken care of. They weren't unhealthy because they were very, very healthy monkeys. They had what they need anytime they needed it, and the zookeeper was the one responsible for bringing all that about. So everybody was very, very conscientious in the fact that this zookeeper was doing something right. And so they would contact him. Can we come tour your zoo? Will you shed some of your wisdom on us? And of course the zookeeper said, oh, by all means, come and check this out. I'll be happy to show you my monkeys. And so he would escort groups of people touring through his monkey exhibits. They came across one monkey exhibit, and sure enough, this is the monkeys that were so famous. None of the monkeys were screaming and yelling. They wouldn't bang up against the glass for anything. They were happy, content, go lucky. They were making more monkeys. They were doing everything the monkeys are supposed to be doing. They weren't screaming, yelling, arguing, fussing. There was nothing but peace, happiness, growth, success, everything that awesome monkeys are supposed to do. They were in that exhibit. And the people in the tour said, it's true. It's true. He is the great wizard of the monkeys. They walked a little bit further in their tour, then they come across another monkey exhibit. Sure enough, same thing. Happy monkeys, go lucky, healthy, nobody's screaming for attention, nobody's doing anything. They loved the zookeeper. Everything was just wonderful in that monkey exhibit. It was exactly what it was supposed to be. And all the guests thought, wow, this is so impressive. They walked a little bit further in their tour. Then they came across a completely different story. As they come across another exhibit, all of a sudden it's completely contrary. You got monkeys screaming up against the glass, demanding attention. Feed me, I need help right now. And they were just unhappy as can be. And everybody was really shocked that this monkey exhibit was in the shape that it was in. And the zookeeper did nothing. And so they walked a little bit further. The group was perplexed because they saw the zookeeper there. He didn't speak to the monkeys, he didn't acknowledge them, he did nothing. And they thought, well, that's not at all like what's going on. Maybe he's not the legend we thought. They go a little bit further, come across another group of unhappy monkeys. They bang the cage, they bang the glass, they want their attention, they want food now. They're just unhappy, and the zookeeper is just completely ignoring them. And these monkeys needed help. They were unhealthy. They needed medical care. They were hungry. They needed to be fed. They were thirsty. They needed all kinds of things, and yet this zookeeper, for some reason, just walked by. Everybody was so perplexed. Finally, in between the next exhibits, one young man goes up to the zookeeper, and he was somewhat irritated because those monkeys were so unhappy, so screaming so loud for attention, and the zookeeper did nothing. And so the young man says, excuse me, sir, how can you do that? You walk by all those monkeys that were demanding attention, and yet you give all the attention to all these other monkeys. Those monkeys were so healthy, and yet these monkeys demanding your attention are so unhealthy, and you walk right by them. What's wrong with you? How could you do that? We don't understand. And the old wise zookeeper looked at him and said, oh, that's very simple, young man. Those aren't my monkeys. Those are. And so the story of the analogy there is that zookeeper knew how to take care of the appropriate monkeys. And even though other monkeys were coming up and demanding attention from him, even though other monkeys were wanting to be fed and needed to be fed and should be fed and watered, they were not by him. He just continued to walk by because he knew this is not my problem. And I will not let it become my problem, because if I let it become my problem, it will become my problem at the expense of my other monkeys. And so the zookeeper in his in his wisdom just kept on walking. He only dealt with what he knew was his monkey. And so there's so many life stories that we can learn from that monkey analogy. And so what I want you to look at is, when it comes to these tasks in your life, are they really your monkeys? Because the truth is, there's a great probability that not every monkey screaming in your life or every situation demanding your attention is actually your monkey. But the one thing that you've got that you're going to have to embrace and deal with is, even if you don't want those monkeys and you're like, this isn't mine, how did I find myself doing this? The fact of the matter is true, and that is you accepted them. And so you have to recognize that you've accepted these problems and now it becomes your problem to deal with, but it's okay to deal with it. You are the only one that can make those quality decisions about, this is my monkey. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so as you do this, is this my monkey? Ask yourself on all of these things that you're looking at, the tasks that you find yourself doing, is it really a monkey that you're supposed to be dealing with? Okay, how do you know if it's part of your zoo? Is it part of your task? Are you really supposed to be doing this? Well, one thing to look at is this monkey that you're dealing with or problem. Is it really part of your life's purpose if you succeed in doing this? If you embrace this problem and you nurse it and you take care of it, is it really part of your life's purpose? And if it's not, why are you doing it? Honestly, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I dealing with this problem when it's not my problem? And I'm telling you, when you get to that point, it becomes so freeing. You feel so much freedom knowing that you don't have to fix every problem that's out there. On the contrary, there's a lot of problems that you would be serving society and life better with if you just let it happen. Quit trying to fix everything, because number one, you can't fix everything. Number two, you're not supposed to in the first place. And these screaming monkeys or problems have run up into your life and you have accepted them. So choose your battles and use that idea. Is this monkey that I'm dealing with really part of my life's purpose? Because if not, I would really encourage you to look strongly and not feeding that monkey. Let it go. Move on to something else that really is a part of your life's purpose. Choose your battles. And so as a life coach, that is a real admonishment. Look at the battles you're fighting. Are they really yours? And I do not mean to diminish some of the battles that you're fighting that really are yours, because those are reality. We do have those. And I don't want to encourage you to drop them, but I do want you to examine the things that you find your hands set to. Because when you end up feeding another monkey or dealing with another monkey that's not yours, you take away from yours. You take away from the time you're supposed to be given to those other monkeys. And you end up doing it very poorly. When you spend all of your time and energy working on everybody else's monkey instead of your own, you end up diminishing the quality of service and care that you're able to give to your true priorities in life. So choose your battles effectively. Choose your battles according to, is this your life's purpose? And by you meeting this monkey and dealing with it, is it getting you closer to the fulfillment of your life's purpose? All right, another story I want to share with you, helping you to choose your battles and recognize what is a part of your life's cause and what is a part of your purpose, is a story about a wall builder. And there's a lot of life's lessons in prioritizing in this story also. This happens to be a very true story. Years ago, there was a great leader in the Middle East. And this is hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and it is a part of history. This man was charged with building a wall around the city. And at the time, there was a lot of people in the area, the residents that would come and attack city to city, and they would take the plunder, and they would steal from each other. And so they would build walls around their cities. And there was one city in particular that had a wall built years and years ago, and it protected the occupants of the city for a long time. And everybody relished and rejoiced in that. But through neglect and complacency, that wall began to crumble. And it no longer offered the opportunity of protection that it had before. And so this great leader was tasked with the journey and tasked with the mission of rebuild the wall around this city. And history proves the different challenges and things that he faced in taking on this challenge. And so part of what took place was he had some real problems in building this wall. Of course, he was undermanned, underfunded, didn't have enough of anything to do this job, and so he had to get pretty creative in order to do the job. But everybody knew once this wall is built, it's going to become an incredibly viable force in the area, and the other areas around, the other cities and nations around, would definitely feel weakened as a result of this one city building its wall. So the other areas did not want it to happen. And so as a result of them not wanting this leader to build the wall, they sent spies, if you will, into the city where the great leader was building the wall, and they infiltrated the city, and they ended up having conversation with the great leader trying to build the wall. Well, what they told him or asked him was, would you consider doing something else? We've got another great task that we need to have done, and we want you to do it. And the leader thought about this, and he's like, oh, I don't believe so. I have this great cause over here. I don't believe that I would be interested in doing that. And they were pretty influential and persuasive, and they're like, oh, no, sir, please consider this. This is a great task that we're trying to offer you. It'll pay you great rewards. It'll be great for your city. And so they really painted a great picture of what this other task was. And so as a result of that, he thought about it, and he finally said pretty quickly, no, I'm not interested. I have this great cause to go take care of. Why in the world, and he asked them, why in the world would I leave this great cause just to go help you with your cause? No, I will not be distracted from this great cause. And so he made the decision not to go and help them. It was all deception anyhow from them, because all they wanted to do was contribute to the demise of the wall and keep it from being built, because they knew if they could keep it from being built, they could sneak in, overcome the city, attack it, and then they would take all the plunder and they were right back to square one. But because of the great quality choice that this leader made, he knew his cause was the greatest one in his life, and no other cause was going to get his attention. And so I want to ask you, what great cause are you working on? Is it a great cause? Do you have a cause? Because as a life coach, I'm going to encourage you, work on the things that are important to you, not just the tyranny of the urgent in your life. What is really important for you in your life's cause? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? What great task do you have that still needs to be done? And so recognize, by you choosing any other cause or any other monkey for any reason is going to come at the expense of your cause being compromised. And so choose your battles well. What really is your battle? Identify them. And then give them your 100% of your attention. Give your true battles all of your all of your efforts. Take great action on your battles. And you know what? Let the other stuff go. If it's not a part of your cause, if it's not a part of your great battle, the great thing that you want to accomplish, let it go. And you may be in a situation where you're kind of struggling, well, I don't know for sure what my cause is, and maybe we haven't got to that point yet in a life coaching session. Well, one question you could ask yourself to kind of help reveal that, or give you some clarity of purpose or a sense of loss, is if I could magically wave my wand across you, and somehow I take the present you and I put you into your future, and I put you years and years into your future, all the way where I've actually put you at your own funeral. And you're in your mind's eye experiencing you standing there in front of your own casket at your own funeral, and the future you that's laying in that casket magically sits up from that casket and reaches out and asks you a question. And the question is, why didn't you do it? and you're contemplating, and you have to do some soul searching. What is that one thing that you did not accomplish then that the future you would be unhappy with you on? So ask yourself, that one thing that I've got in life that I cannot pass away content and fulfilled unless I accomplish that one thing. What is that one thing? That's your cause. That's your real monkey. Anything that you spend time with outside of that is distracting you from the fulfillment of your real cause and purpose. And yeah, it may take some time to discover this, but the principle I want to lay down for you to look at is look at your battles. Identify what is really yours and deal with those that are yours and let the other stuff go. Okay, so what if you let a monkey go or you let a problem go that somebody's really dependent on you to fix and it wasn't yours in the first place? What's going to happen? Well, you're going to spend more time working on your real issues, the problems, the things that you want to spend time on. And if somebody heaps all kinds of guilt and condemnation, accusation against you because you didn't fix that, you know what? If it was that big a deal, let them fix it. Okay, they probably are the ones that should have been fixing it in the first place, but because they manipulated you into doing some other task instead of the important things for your life, they got you to deal with their issues. Don't let people heap that kind of baggage on you unless it is legitimately something that you're supposed to be doing. So I just want to encourage you to look at the battles that you're in. Look at the decisions that you're making. Look at the time that you're giving. Look at the resources that you're spending. Are you spending it on things that are really important to you? Or are you feeding somebody else's monkey? Because you feeding their monkey is going to come at the expense of your dream. You'll never get there. You'll never get to that point of fulfillment, happiness, contentment. And so honestly, look at the things that you're finding your hands set to. Are they really what you're supposed to be doing? Or are they just things that you find yourself doing? And so as you go through that, look at the things that you're doing battle with and ask yourself a couple of questions. What could you do less of to see that battle a part of your life? When it's really not your monkey, what could you do more of to get rid of that sucker? Okay, what can you let go of? This is a whole session by itself. And that is the idea that is real, that helps people realize the joy of letting go. There are so many things that we need to let go of. It may be a monkey that's really not my monkey. You may need to let go of a problem that's really not your problem and you got your nose in it. Get your nose out of it. Keep your nose in your stuff. Make sure it's your issue. Let go. Maybe it's a false identification of yourself. You've embraced an identity of yourself that's really not true. Maybe you need to let go of that. Maybe you need to let go of some relationships. You know, if you're in an abusive relationship where you are being abused on a regular basis, you're being hurt, you're being victimized, it may be time to let go of that. Maybe you're in a career where it's really not a career. You're kidding yourself. It's not even close to what you want to be doing. Why are you there? Okay, maybe you need to let go of that. Maybe you need to let go of some limiting beliefs that you've got in your life. I can't, I shouldn't, I don't. Let go of some of those things because that's just letting go of some monkey that's really not your monkey. Let go of those monkeys that are not yours. And so that I started this with the idea of you taking an inventory. Look at the things that are really yours and embrace them. By all means, deal with them, help with them, plan, progress, make decisions, do those things that are yours. But when it comes to the other stuff, let it go. It feels so good to be working on a project and know that this screaming problem coming up is, and they want you to deal with it, and it's not your monkey, it feels so good that in your mind's eye you say, you know what? That ain't my monkey. Other people will tell you, not my bull, not my rodeo. You get to that point where you will actually pick up the stuff that is really yours and supposed to be yours, and you will then start becoming a lot more successful in the things that are really your problem, because you can't manage all of the problems successfully. So choose your battles effectively. Choose what is really your monkey and let the other stuff go. So if you want to be successful, one of the things that you really need to practice is choose your monkeys well. Let the others go.